Today, Governor Tony Evers extending his record number of pardons with another 153 people.
The governor has pardoned over 1,200 people since he took over the office and reestablished the Pardon Advisory Board eliminated by the previous governor, Scott Walker. The list of pardon recipients show that the majority of the crimes were committed decades ago. Those pardoned have volunteered in their community, owned businesses, and completed higher education, some even with master's degrees. While a pardon does not clear the recipient's criminal history, it does restore their rights lost from their conviction, including public licenses, serving on a jury, or even holding public office.